Bonjour, je suis escargot.
Bonjour, I'm Alex Maxwell.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Max Phillips, and today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realised what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
So today we watched a documentary about Oasis.
We didn't. I do love Supersonic though. I got excited and I put my mic out of place because I really what I should have done is put my arms behind my back and done the...
And lifted your chin a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you were wondering why we've started episode 14 with...
Really badly.
Terrible French.
with bad French and then aggressive Wonderwall.
Yeah.
We are finishing, well, maybe finishing, but we are planning to continue, but finishing the first round of Film Club. Woo! And this week I picked
a good film.
A very good film.
The French-Canadian 2015 drama.
Wait, it was Canadian?
Mommy. French-Canadian.
Wait. Was it... Oh shit, it wasn't even based in France. Oh no,
there we
that's
go.
at the beginning.
Told you. I was
said
right.
Canada.
I told
Did you not realise
I told you,
it?
Nathan.
I forgot.
I told you.
I forgot the beginning. They were like, in Canada. And then later on, they're all speaking French. I was like, France.
Yeah,
France.
I didn't even twig
before
that.
Before we started filming, Alex said, because there's a scene earlier on at the very start of it where another character is surprised that the main mother character speaks French.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, you speak French?" So Alex was like, "Is she not French?" And I was like, "He doesn't know she's Canadian." He's thought this whole thing's been in France. So I didn't say anything. I just waited until I could say French-Canadian film.
Yeah, it didn't twig. I started this film. So normally we watch the films on a Friday and then we do the podcast on a Saturday. I didn't watch it yesterday. And so I had to get up at like 8:30 on a Saturday to watch it. And so at the beginning where it's like and my TV's not very big. So it's like really small writing with then also subtitles. And I was like, yeah, Canada, new law.
Oh, I didn't even get that. I started watching it on a stream that had subtitles, but it said it was an hour and a half long. So I was like, I've got to find another one. Found another one that didn't have subtitles, and I missed the entire thing. And then they started talking. I was like, I don't know what they're saying.
So basically, there was this new law brought in to Canada, which is like the S14 law, where if you have a troubled child, you can basically just send them to a hospital. And be done with them. And it's like, and this is the story of this woman.
That was another one.
Do it?
Another one of before we started filming, before Alex had hopped on the call. I explained that to Nathan. He was like, "Oh, I get the context now."
I didn't understand. Like, because if you watch it without that bit at the start, it's like, oh yeah, this could happen, I guess. But when Max said that, I was like, oh,
right.
Yep.
It's in like an imagined
a hypothetical world.
Yeah. She's gone with the whole what if approach to writing.
Yeah.
What if you could send your kids away?
I'll go through a brief outline of the story for those who haven't seen it. Obviously, as with all Film Club episodes, there will be a spoiler warning on this one.
Spoilers.
But you should, I'm saying it. You know what I'm like with spoilers. I'm usually like, yeah, fuck you. I want to talk about it. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But this one, if you are watching it and you haven't seen the film, go and watch it. It's really, really good.
It's kind of new enough to have not seen it. It's not new.
Yeah.
But
they have flip phones. It's not new.
It's 2015.
It's 2015?
It's, yeah.
Yeah, it's 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
But it's set in a future, but it's all like 90s aesthetic. It's very weird.
Can we just say, from the off, this is a beautiful film. Regardless of if you like the story, anything, it is stunning.
Yeah,
and
it's gorgeous.
I normally am the last to kind of hop on to kind of, it looks so good. It just looks good, you know? And
I'm the first to hop on it.
Yeah.
It does.
But it was like it wasn't my first comment. My first one is this whole film square?
Yeah.
Again, before the call started, and it was just me and Nathan talking. I said to him, I was like, I chose this because there's a scene later on that we will get to where the aspect ratio changes, and that's all I knew going in.
Yeah.
I'd seen that, and I was like, wow.
Mhm.
And I also knew that the rest of the film was in 1.85 to 1.
Oh, is it that? It's
Oh,
not
so
one
yeah,
by
it
one.
is. Well, I figured I'd be specific, but it is 1-1.
1.85 to 1. Okay.
And I was like, I just want Alex's reaction to be like, and it just fulfilled it straight away as soon as you put the film on. You messaged in the group chat, "Is this all in 1-1?" I was like, yes.
I didn't watch the Blair Witch Project because it was irritating me that it was square. Purely because and it's one of those things. It didn't need to be. None of it needed to be.
The Blair Witch Project, right?
Yeah, and it didn't
Not this.
Wait, wasn't the whole thing that it was found footage though? So like,
yeah, it was. Yeah, it makes total sense.
Find rectangle footage, you fucks. Anyway,
we can't use any of this footage. It's all square.
God damn it!
These people might have died, but I can't bear it.
I just can't do it. But like, it didn't. There wasn't really, other than it's found footage. There wasn't a creative purpose for it.
Yeah.
To stray from the norm. Whereas this film utilizes it as a tool in its arsenal. And it does it so fucking well.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've been like, I like that it's square.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's and again we will get to it.
Yeah,
but it is magnificent.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a massive, because I love that bit so much. But
Do
you wanna go through the plot quickly? Just like
sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
I wrote a little summary of the basics because it is quite a basic film. It's very much a film about family and love and hate and the human experience.
Yeah.
I feel anyway. And it's basically about it's the story of like a dangerously mentally ill boy, teenage boy, and his loving relationship, like his a relationship with his mother, but which is often to the detriment of his
it's
and
extremely
her well-being.
toxic.
It's so toxic, and basically just how he goes through life with no help around him, and it gets worse and worse, and then a neighbor
and how she goes through
gets
life.
introduced, and and then a neighbor comes into their life and changes things.
Fucking Kyla, what a legend!
What a legend, big old Kai. And
Special K.
essentially
Sorry, that was a late one.
helps them. That was rubbish. As well.
What the fuck?
And then Kyla sort of helps in a way, if you will, turn his life around. I know that the ending is sort of left open-ended and
Ish.
ish.
Yeah.
Because it does obviously end, and again, straight into the spoilers here, but it ends with the fantasy scene of the mother fantasizing about their life as he grows older.
Oh my god.
And weds, and then it crashes back into reality, and she is sat in the car with him and drops him off at the hospital because she's decided to, submit him to the public hospital, as we were saying at the start. So I think it is left open-ended because yes, he is in hospital, but in theory, he's getting better, and that future is still possible for him.
He jumps out of a window.
Yeah, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, but I mean, like,
it could be reinforced.
I thought you were talking about the ending.
Is he? No, but like, yeah,
where he runs full pelt out of a big glass window.
But is he escaping, or is he like gonna die?
Oh right.
The answer is both.
So he's there to get better. Is he gonna
Yeah.
jump out the window and be fine and be put back in hospital? Is he gonna jump out the window and escape? Is he gonna die? It's left open-ended.
Yeah.
In a very strange way, kind of circling back to us, Glasslight Media, available for hire, is that ending. I feel maybe it's because I've written a similar ending, and it's what I had in my mind, but it's what instantly hit me, and it's only just come to me now that we did it. We did that situation where we have a character trapped in a situation, and we show the run-up to a way out, where the result of which could either be a success, and he is free, or
Yeah.
he dies a terrible death. But I think where there's the parallel is that it doesn't matter which one to that character. I'll either be free or I'll die. Either way, I won't be here.
I don't know, to me, the only way I read it was that he wanted to kill himself. Because, like, the scene before where he's, like, on the phone, that almost felt to me like...
A last goodbye.
And what a gorgeous shot as well.
With just the black,
at this
the
point,
hand.
it's... Yeah. I mean, I will say that the hand did remind me of that shot in Shaun of the Dead, when he hands the phone to him.
Yeah.
That bit. But it is gorgeous, and he's in a straitjacket, and it's, like, still back in 1-1. The reason that I'm sort of agreeing with Nathan, like, because I was just saying it's left open-ended, and does it end nicely? It might do. That fantasy might come true. We don't know. But the reason I do think that he probably was just going to kill himself is because the aspect ratio doesn't change back.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
That's
on
1-1.
My last note was would have been a brilliant opportunity to switch back to 16:9.
Yeah.
Because even in death, it's a freedom. Because that's how it's used, I think, is this 1-1 box that they're trapped in. It is a cage.
Yeah.
And those moments where it opens up into this, and it's always so gorgeous. Like, if we just describe that shot where it first does
we can. Should we get into that straight away rather than like
I think
tiptoe around it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because that's like I said, it's the reason that I chose this film. I remember when this film came out in 2015, I saw someone, maybe like an IHE or Your Movie Sucks or someone like that, talking about it on YouTube, and just sort of mentioning this shot, and that's all they showed, and I was like, that's all I knew about it. And I was like, oh man, I had to watch it, and it's been on my watch list since then. And I think just because of the fact it's French, and it's it's mostly in 1-1, it's like not a directly accessible movie. And when you're a working adult, it's like you don't want to get home from work every night and put
switch
on a film like that, exactly. So I haven't often found the time to do it. But we were saying it's a nice thing about this project that we're doing, because it forces you to watch things that you may have always wanted to but never got round to,
or things you would never have watched at all.
Yeah, that's it.
And things you never wanted to watch, like last week,
and will never watch again, both of the previous weeks. But this is one that I think in the past 2 weeks we've spoken about plot. Mulholland Drive has a form of plot, but the plot is
it's very
almost
twisted.
a vehicle for the story of people. And then The Small Back Room is practically plot free.
It had many.
It had too many
plots.
Yeah.
So many that there wasn't really a discernible one.
Yeah.
But then this one also does and doesn't. But in a magical way. We have a beginning, a middle, and an end. We have character arcs, but it's not really important.
No.
It is a very in-depth character study, I think, of these three people, mostly. We've got little side characters, but even Kyla, the neighbor, we see her husband and daughter. We see a couple of bits and pieces that indicate their relationship, but they're on the peripherals, and it's irrelevant. My God, I've just finished watching it. Just before starting, and I'm still. I could say so much, and hopefully we get to.
See, we talked about it last night. I was like, I'm not. I like a morning. Where I can wake up around. I don't want to sit and watch a film. I like to just have my mornings. So I.
Me too.
Made the error of watching it, and I finished it at 4 a.m. last night because I got back from work late. And then just finished it at 4 a.m. But I normally when I'm watching a film at that time, it's to send myself to sleep. So I was sort of worried that would happen, but I was just engulfed in it, like properly engulfed in it.
I was smiling to myself, laughing. I cried twice.
It's because of this character study, as you say, and pure. This is gonna be the most pretentious podcast we've ever done, by the way.
Yeah, probably.
but
It's got an
it's,
artsy film.
Yeah,
But
but
it
done
isn't
well.
It's strange. It's like
yeah,
it's more of like in a story sense, and less
Mhm.
of like less like a Mulholland Drive thing where it's like
Yeah.
visually,
It doesn't
and
feel
you have
wanky to
like,
watch.
You don't have to think
Yeah.
about stuff.
It feels
but it's
artsy,
still,
yes, yeah,
but not
Yeah.
wanky.
yeah, it's not
But-
like it's not that you don't have to think about it, but it's like you're not trying to figure out the story because it's presented to you so easily.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, obviously, we're talking about aspect ratio, and I think that's just one element of the bigger picture of both the direction and the cinematography. And one point that I made in my notes is this is kind of a two-pronged thing. Nothing they do is particularly special. It's
Yes.
not flashy. It's
Yeah.
not like these crazy angles or camera movements. It's very much they have a square, it's divided into thirds, and it's doing something simple but expertly.
Well, I'll
They
tell you
use the
something
rule
that
of
was very
thirds.
interesting. They in a lot of the dialogue scenes, particularly where it's quite what's the word, like explosive, violent, those
Mhm.
kind of bits where they're having like arguments, they'll never cut. They'll always like quickly
Hold.
move back and forth between the characters, which I
That
found
too.
really interesting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. But it is that it's the choices of composition, even within that, they're maintaining a flow.
Yeah.
But I mean, those end points are locked off, and the characters are often central.
Yep.
The split of like the background is often within the rule of thirds. Even simple things like angles, like high angle, low angle, to show power. It's
Yeah.
all utilized, and they're all like the basic things you learn
It's
when you're
very
learning how to
technical.
make stuff.
Like
Yeah.
it's very much like a master. I would say like it's like a master knowing the simplistic rules and not really going outside of the rules and very much
Yeah,
sticking to it,
absolutely.
like just keeping it like absolutely perfect. It's simple, but it's done so well.
It's because he created this constraint for himself by choosing that aspect ratio in a way.
Oh yeah.
Because
And there were
it's
limitations.
quite limiting, obviously. And that's just, as you say, that's why the simplicity is such a marvel, because you get these. I think it stands out most in the argument scenes, as you said, and in the those gorgeous sequences they do of just
Like the montages.
like where the characters are just like sort of experiencing these moments of like just pure like basic everyday emotion.
Mhm.
So like when Steve gets home from his boarding school at the start and jumps on his mum's bed, and the shopping trolley sequence.
I was just about to, when he's like spinning it around in that park, and the camera's just like orbiting around. And that was just such an incredible shot.
And like whenever he's longboarding and listening to music, or there's a really really nice bit where Kyla and Diane are laughing, having a drink together, and the camera just sort of pulls away from the house and just it's like just leave these characters to have this moment. But it's full of that. It's like all of these things, all of these techniques, they have reason. It's to show that there's emotion in the everyday, even for some people whose lives are utterly miserable.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I was thinking during a lot of this film, and the fact that it's in one by one, was you could probably pause this film at nearly any point, and you've got like an album cover.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
That's so true.
You just stick on like
great.
a parental advisory and like a little name at the top left.
Yeah,
boom, album cover. I was like, I kind of want to try it. Just watch
especially because like
it.
the guy that plays Steve is like such a like aesthetically, like pleasing guy. Like just that sort of style was so album cover worthy.
The acting in this, like if we just deviate from the tech side, fuck me.
Yeah,
because like you hate him at a lot of points. You think this guy's a little fucking shit, And it's
it's
weird.
crazy. It's crazy how they managed to get you on his side after that sequence with the taxi driver at the start.
Yeah,
'Cause that
was explosive.
Heavy explosive. Heavy.
But the thing is, it's not like you're on his side. Like, you don't side with him, as in like you're
sympathetic to him.
Exactly. It's like you're rooting for him to get better. You're rooting for him because they show what the mother is going through, what he does to people, and you're like, if you could just be a better person, then everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. But because he does such horrible things, it would be very easy to not have anybody get on his side and not feel sympathetic for him. But that's in his performance and in the directing, 100%.
Oh yeah,
it's just amazing. And
for a bit of background, the character of Steve, he has like quite severe ADHD and an attachment disorder, where I think that it's that he has like one strong attachment, and that's to his mom. But everyone else, it's like he's a guard dog. But also, he's almost like a guard dog for himself. So even when his mum if his mum's attacking him, that overrides anything. And I think that's the ADHD part of it as well.
I think part of it also comes, I think potentially it's more of a parental thing, because obviously like his dad dying was probably like, it seemed as if it was a trigger for him spiraling. So I think potentially it was almost like, he loves his parents more than anything, and it is that same thing. He was like a guard dog, in for the two of them, and when his dad died, that kind of set the whole thing in motion of what we watched basically. Yeah.
But with the ADHD as well, you get this kind of sporadicness to all of his behavior, and it's almost reflected in what you're watching. But it creates this constant feeling of being on edge. You mentioned that conversation where they're kind of, it's not quite like a balcony, it's almost like a little sunroom bit where it's just a lot of glass.
A porch.
Yeah, like a closed off porch. And they're talking and they're laughing, and it is this really, really nice moment. You find yourself smiling. But I also found myself really fucking nervous because something is going to break this. It intercuts with shots of him like making this macaroni bracelet for Kyla. But it's also all underpinned by this rumbling of thunder. And there is callbacks to that later on. And you're like, okay, this is a beautiful moment, but what's gonna end it?
And mate, what a motif that thunder and rain is, because how it ends is so good. Yeah. When he sort of comes to the realization, he looks out the window and he sees the medicine police. I'd call them hospital workers, but they're like,
they have tasers and they're taking him away.
So they are. Yeah. And he sees them because he thinks his mum's gone off to use a toilet in a building somewhere, but actually she's not. And then raindrops on the window. Yeah. Amazing. Honestly, I was literally like, oh my god.
I was tricked by the film. I was. So
you thought it was in France?
Yes. So it was when Diane has her kind of envisioning of the future.
Yes.
And I wrote this down, and so they've gone on this day trip out, which we later learn is kind of like a last hurrah that he doesn't know about. We've opened up to the 16:9 because there's this sense of freedom for her. And then we basically see this montage where he graduates, he gets accepted to Juilliard, he meets a girl, starts a family. Everyone's there. Kyla's still there. It's perfect. And
it's crucially as well, because that's such an overdone thing in cinema. It is not lame, at all. Yeah. It's really well done.
Well, it's interesting. Retrospectively, you can see that it's because it's an imagination thing. But when I first watched it, I thought this was because it's a long film. I wasn't keeping track of the time. I thought maybe this is the ending, and we were getting a happy ending. And I wrote, the storm finally arrives, because he's out with his letter to Juilliard showing Kyla.
That was
and the rain comes pouring down, and I put, the storm finally arrives, but it's not even a storm, it's the rain to wash the shit away. And this kind of montage where everything is blurry, and it just kind of
and it's got this red hue to it.
Yeah, and it hones into like little moments of clarity where it's in focus, and it's almost like, okay, well, that is life. You don't remember all of the details. You remember your child grasping your finger. You remember your first dance at your wedding. Everything else is a blur. You remember the feeling of it.
All Alex's examples are things he's never done, by the way.
Yeah.
I remember this.
No, you remember it, like you as in.
Yeah, I know. I was just taking the piss.
And I thought, this is a beautiful ending. That's one of the points I was crying.
Yeah.
And then she's at the wedding, and you see her face kind of, she's got this sense of unease. She starts to blur. And I thought, okay, well, this is her recognition that even she's going to be a kind of faded memory.
Yeah,
but it's not the case, and we cut back to one by one.
Do you want to know what is the like? I had written down just a simple sentence. I knew it was a lie. Through that whole thing, I was like, this isn't real. Like, it's not gonna, like, at the first bit, I was the same with you. As soon as he got when he was taking all the pictures and he graduated, I was like, oh, it's so happy, it's so good. And then it got to the bit where he was starting his family. I was like, there's no way this is real.
Yeah.
Like, it's so gonna come back. This is too good to be true. But the thing that was so crushing about that whole thing is they go all the way back to being in the car. That is the thing that was just, it hit me so hard. I was like, they haven't even gone back. They haven't even had a fun day. Like, they've not had that day at the beach where they're all happy and getting along. They've gone all the way back to the start, and none of it mattered. Like, none of that happened. Yeah.
And also, back to that.
Yeah.
Right back
I didn't realise that was happening, because I think it's on, like, there's like a weird shot where there's like a load of black on the left, and you don't see it closing in until it's too late, and you've seen it, and you're like, great. And now we're back.
Yeah. We're back here.
Yeah.
And then I think I wrote there, sometimes the storm is just a storm.
Deep.
Right? But there is that moment where he sees them and just raindrops start
it's magnificent.
Hitting the thing,
it
and
really
I was like,
is.
fuck me.
Yeah.
Fuck. That was a lot of my emotions in this, was fuck!
Yeah.
Fuck! This film crushed me a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, there's one thing that we can also talk about that is excellent through the whole film, which is music choice.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right from the start, the very first song, the entire thing, like that little piano, like melody going through as like the clothesline. Maybe that's another thing that kind of connects it, doesn't it? It goes to like, because when that storm's happening,
I forgot about that. Oh yeah, my first note was. Hang on.
My first note is
I put
well, other than about the intro, but my first note after that is white flag. What a banger!
Well, my first note was bit of exposition at the beginning, like a not as good Star Wars, and then put, oh god, where are her apples? Because she was just like she had like one apple from an apple tree, and then was like looking around for them, and they weren't there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, weird start. Let's move.
But that intro,
I forgot about that.
Actually, just because you commented on it, I really quite liked it, because the film is about. I mean, it's weird, really, because it does have two protagonists.
Apple from the tree.
Oh, deep, yeah. I'm thinking of the very, very start where she's talking to his boarding school teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. And
was that a boarding school?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a lie.
I thought it was like a prison kind of.
Yeah.
Don't they call
not like a prison, but like a.
I'm pretty sure they call it a boarding school.
I think she called it a boarding school when she was talking to someone that she kind of didn't want to know. I feel like it was kind of like a thing where they send
maybe it's like a high security boarding school.
Educate them.
Yeah, like juvie.
Yeah.
Not quite, because she recommends it.
Oh yes.
Yeah. She's like, no.
Maybe it's like a pre.
Yeah.
Pre-juvie.
Yeah.
The naughty boys
toddlers.
school. Yeah, and he's the main character, really. I mean, it's her film, but he's the main character. And he isn't introduced for 8 minutes, and the first thing we hear of him is him kicking the shit out of one of the workers over a walkie-talkie. And after you've got this exposition of of what's going to happen in his future,
and he sets someone on fire.
Yes,
so he sets fire to someone. That's how it starts.
Yeah, but we don't hear him do that. What I'm saying is that's mentioned in the exposition.
Oh,
and the first thing
yeah.
he's introduced is him kicking the shit out of one of his workers, and he's calling in the walkie-talkie like, "Can I have some help, please?"
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And so you just
that's the first time we hear him.
That first 8 minutes, he tells you why he's getting expelled because he set someone on fire, and they got third-degree burns of the face.
That'll do
which
it.
later comes back to bite him in the arse. And
well, not him.
No,
it doesn't bite him in the ass at all. It's almost like his actions have no consequences through the whole film.
Yeah,
and then over the walkie-talkie we hear him, and then he gets expelled and is out, and that's when White Flag kicks in, and you get that sequence of him walking home, and it's just like, wow, like what an intro. Like I just, it tells you everything you need to know. You get that he is a chaotic, horrible mess, and then you see his relationship with his mum. That's it.
Which is weird.
That's it.
Straight
that's
away.
Film. So weird.
It's weird. Like even the first bit where he's like, "Give me a kiss," and she's like, "Give him a kiss," and then he's like, "Come on, more than that," and then she's like smushing him in her boobs, and I'm like, "This is weird."
Yeah.
And that's not even the weirdest bit.
Yeah, that bit later on where they're dancing and he's getting the cake.
No, that's not the bit I'm talking about.
Awkward.
Oh yeah, that one. That's another moment of like, even in the happy moment, you feel like, oh god, what's happening? Because that's after he's like tried to beat the shit out of it.
But that's like the power of using a close up, though, isn't it? Because like if it was just a wide shot and he was doing that, you'd be like, it's not as important, right? But because it's like so focused on that bit,
they draw up the arm.
Yeah,
and
it makes you feel that like that.
Also, I
important.
just realized I know the bit you mean, Alex. I think.
Yeah, where he basically fucking makes out with her.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're my priority," and then fucking goes in for a snub.
After like the night of drinking at the karaoke bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's like in his bed. She was like looking for him. He's like somewhere downstairs or something.
Yeah. And he like makes out with her, and it's weird.
Yeah. Well, weird. When they're dancing, he touches her
boobs,
tits,
touches her boobs.
Yeah.
He does.
He's like, "Don't touch me there," and then it cuts like a shot of Kyla, and she's like,
"Well, I guess this is how they do it here."
Her character is so awkward. It's my third note. I was like, God, why is Kyla so awkward? And then I put, oh, she doesn't speak French. Oh, she does?
She does. she just doesn't speak.
She's a stutter.
She has like a speech impediment, but I thought it was like, she's moved to like the French-speaking part of Canada. Yeah. She doesn't understand French fully, but she does.
That's what I thought, and then I was like, oh no, it's a stutter, and then I went, no, maybe it's not. Maybe she isn't. Maybe she doesn't speak French. Maybe that's the problem. And I was like, no, it is. It's definitely a stutter because they actively take the piss out of it the whole way through it for it.
Yeah. But I mean, that's used as a device as well.
Yes.
Because when she's comfortable, it's not there.
Yeah.
And you
see she can't call for help either, but the only person she can call for help is Diane.
Which, by the way, screaming "die" while somebody's bleeding out on the floor isn't the best. Can we just point out, by the way, hold on, Alex is drinking Coca-Cola with a straw from a can.
I'm trying to protect my teeth from acid erosion.
Big old Tory energy.
No, I'm suffering. My teeth have acid erosion.
With a lemon.
Jeez Louise.
Sorry, carry on.
But anyway.
Carry on, Mr. Cameron.
Back to the film. But that stutter, like when we see her have the stutter with the family at the beginning, it fades away
very gradually
non-existent
as well. It's not like a...
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
But then as soon as she's like back with her own family,
it's almost worse than
it's
ever.
back. And then at the end as well, when she's trying to talk to Diane and tell her that she's moving, and Diane is kind of, it's this, to us, it's such an obvious front where she's like, oh my God, that's amazing, wonderful news.
Do you like crisps or
and
pie?
Kyle is like, are you a pie or crisp person? I don't know why we're doing that voice. They were speaking French. It was a subtitle.
Oh, wait, I think I've just got it. Crisp is like a topping, isn't it, for a pie? Like you would have a crispy pie topping, like a puff pastry.
Oh, I thought she meant like apple slices that were like cooked in an oven.
Or that.
I thought, does she want pie or like a bag
That's
of
what I
crisps?
was thinking. and it's just clicked how stupid I was being. Because I was like...
No, that's what I thought, but she was trying to use the apples. So I was like, she's going to make apple crisps?
Like the apples from the tree at the beginning.
But she only has one because she couldn't find the rest.
Where are my apples?
Shame it's never
They've fallen
cleared up.
so far from the tree.
The only thing they share in is haunting terror of watching someone they love be tasered on the floor of a raining car park.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah. That was the second bit I cried at.
Yeah.
Because that was just such a raw moment.
Yeah.
And it came just after the what could have been.
Yeah.
And now this is the what is.
Mhm.
And it's like, fuck.
Mm.
Fuck.
I want to know what you guys think. I thought that Kyla's husband was like abusive or something. That was the vibes that I got.
I don't know.
from
I
it.
don't know about that. I got weird vibes though. Like I know what you mean.
There was definitely weird vibes,
for sure.
but it was like when he answers the door to Diane, he's like, "Okay, yes," and then like, "Bye," takes the thing in, and then the other one when he was like, "Are you gonna cook or shall I order?"
Yeah.
Why don't you fucking cook, dude?
Yeah, but the other bit when he
and he
pulls
works
away,
from home, ish.
and he pulls away the bubble wrap, like that whole
that bit
connecting all that. I was like, it seems like maybe that's why she has a stutter.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting not physically abusive anyway, and it was weird because that moment at the door where it's like she's sleeping, you can't see. It was basically you can't see her.
Yeah.
It felt like he was very much controlling,
very
and
toxic.
he decided where she went and when she went.
Mm-hmm.
But then that kind of faded away when she was spending so much time at their house. We didn't get to see a lot of that.
Yeah.
And even at the end where it's like, are you cooking or should I order? That was weird. It wasn't you're not going out. I couldn't grasp quite what was wrong. But
I mean,
her
it's
marriage
almost
is weird.
Like the overarching theme of the entire film is just toxic relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
Like their relationship, the relationship with the mum and the son, and the mum with what was his name, Paul.
Yeah.
Like that little relationship that they kind of had that's completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Where she's like, so what do we do about my son? And he's like, let's go to a cottage for 3 nights.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, and then like even he's toxic because he slaps him, and it's like the whole thing is just everyone's just a shitty person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like deep down, if you bring it to the surface,
all the people in the bar,
they're all just shit people.
Yeah. Except for Kyla. I like Kyla.
Yeah.
That's true. I can't really think of a flaw apart from like the stutter.
Yeah.
But that's like that's not like a character flaw.
It's not a character flaw.
Yeah.
Oh, that bitch.
I can't think of a flaw except for her speech impediment. Everyone else is deeply damaged.
Ugh.
This girl. Christ.
Disabilities, am I right? Ugh.
Right?
Oh no, we're being cancelled.
14 episodes in. We're going to lose our 3 watchers.
Me and Alex are clear. You're the one that hates the disabled.
Yeah, Nathan. Jeez.
No, but yeah, we keep talking about this the moment with the aspect ratio, and we keep dodging around it because we get distracted by topics. But let's just sort of, because I know that Nathan said he had a lot of notes on it. So in full detail, it's you get this sequence where, and I fucking loved it. I shouldn't have loved it, but where it starts with Steve is flirting with Kyla, and then he coughs, and then Wonderwall starts playing.
Yeah.
So, like, if you don't know, Wonderwall starts with a cough in the song. Like, that's just how the song starts. So, he went, and then Wonderwall starts playing, and I was like, oh my god, that's so lame. I fucking love it. My notes say, the Wonderwall cough transition, this is all in capital letters. The Wonderwall cough transition, I cannot deal. Ha 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 ha. Why did it work? Why do I like it?
Well, that was the thing I written down. They use normally when they use like pop culture songs, like very popular songs in films, especially big films. It's normally, I find it a bit cringy sometimes.
Yeah.
When they do that, but through this entire film, especially when Wonderwall came on, I was like, this is very fitting.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't chosen because it was a popular song. It was chosen for that song. Like,
and it's almost like that's the catalogue of music they'd listen to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It feels right.
Mm-hmm.
It's used right. They have a few references. Like they even have that stupid fucking Home Alone reference.
Yes.
Where he's like in the mirror and he just goes,
and you go, yeah, he does look like Macaulay Culkin. I
does
didn't thought about
that. Until now. But now it's at the forefront of my mind.
Yeah.
Oh no, my scream absolutely peaked my audio. Good luck.
Oh no.
Oh, that looks not nice.
To audio listeners, I'm sorry.
Yeah, my bad. I'll try fix it.
But yeah, so it's the Wonderwall sequence starts and it plays, and it's as it happens, I would say skateboard, but he would tell me off. It's a longboard.
Longboard.
He longboards over sort of towards the camera and goes like this. And
for the audio listeners, it's like breaststrokes.
Yeah,
that's so
actually
perfect.
Yeah,
and he moves the aspect ratio and it moves into 16:9, and you're like,
yeah,
oh my god, because it hadn't happened until that point.
Yeah,
I missed it.
Yeah,
I was so.
I also missed it. I got a message.
Right?
One message I got through the entire film, and I knew it was coming. It's the only reason I watched the film. And I checked my phone and looked up, and I was like, "Oh fuck!"
No.
To rewind it.
You didn't realize.
I didn't get a message. I was watching his face.
Yeah.
And like this feeling. It was the feeling. I was just stuck in it, and he just kind of did that. And then it was a few shots later when he's like longboarding down the road and the cars are all behind him. I was like, "Hang about." There's more image.
Yeah.
I had to go back. Maybe that's how Nathan finished before me, because I went back and I was like, where the fuck did this happen?
Yeah.
And then it got to that bit and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I was watching it on my computer, so I was like, I don't know, I'm like 2 feet away from the mic or something.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't not notice it. And when it happened, I don't know, it was such a weird feeling. It's almost like obviously the point of it opening up is that it is that feeling
freedom.
Of like, it's finally open. You feel like it feels less.
You can breathe.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I felt. I was like, oh my god, it feels so less contained and claustrophobic. And then it goes back in after that sequence, and the whole thing.
Yeah,
because that
like it sets the tone every time. Like as soon as it opens up, like happy. It's a pretty simple way of putting it, but that's basically it. It's like, when it opens up to that full aspect ratio, you're like, okay, finally, like some good things are happening. And when it closes back in, you're straight into that, right? I know exactly what to feel now.
I was tricked again. I thought, oh, okay, we're in 16:9 now, and this is going to be like the next part of the film.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah,
and
I thought that.
It was a fairly long sequence in the 16:9. So you end up feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
And then she gets the letter. She gets served with a notice from the family of the kid who he set on fire, saying, "We're suing you for $250,000. Best of luck." And she hides it and tries to go back into the situation that they were in. But it cuts to like another day, and you're back in the box, and you're like,
well, the thing is, so it never. It's not like a cut from one aspect ratio to another. It's always a slow squeezed in or like squeezing out. It's never like.
But as Nathan
you're suddenly
said,
in this aspect ratio.
As Nathan said earlier, sometimes the sides are scoring it, so it does slowly fade in, and then that's why you might notice it more on that. Because I know the cut you mean. It cuts to her, and she's looking in the bathroom mirror, and it's boom straight like that, and that's sort of like it's the slow fade. Next day.
Yeah. But it sucked.
Yeah.
It almost feels inevitable from that point in time. Like, when you get to the next 16:9 section, there's almost a feeling of inevitability that.
But then it
feels
even tricked you though. When it opened up, you feel like you know what's coming, but you want to be tricked by it. Almost, it's like this has happened before, where it's come out, it's gone back down again, but you want to be tricked by it because you want to think that it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Happy endings have to be attainable, which is why. You almost want one final open up when he's running down the hallway at the end.
Yeah.
You want it for him. Even though no matter the aspect ratio, he's jumping through a plate glass window.
Yeah.
You just want to have that breath of, okay, it's done.
But it done.
But they don't give it to you.
Yeah.
and it's heartbreaking. But I think, so we're talking about aspect ratio, and we're talking about the effect that the changing of the aspect ratio has. I think we would be remiss to not talk about the kind of pros and cons that the aspect ratio that they use predominantly in the film affords them. Because I think there are the 1:1 ratio has constraints. There was the shot of her in the bank where she's very much on her own, and it's a wide. And that kind of box that she's in, it is wide. There's a lot of headroom above her.
Yeah.
But I felt at that point in time, it's like, okay, well, this is where we see where you kind of lose out here. In that, if that had been like 16:9 or wider, there would have almost felt like more isolation.
I understand what you mean, but it's almost, you kind of forget about the constraints. You almost forget that there's other aspect ratios when you're watching it.
Yeah.
Because you kind of get, when it is in that, they do have quite a few very wide shots like that.
Yeah.
And not that it would have, I don't think it would have felt any different having a wider shot, to be honest, because you still get that sense of isolation. If anything, it's actually heightened when you've used an even more, it's like, it's a wide shot, but it's still super constrained.
Still trapped.
It's like she's isolated, but it's still closing in on her, basically. But if you had a really wide shot, you get that sense of isolation, but you don't get that sort of suffocating space that the 1:1 ratio affords it.
Yeah. I think one of the best uses of it, or best examples of how they use it for more than one effect, is that kitchen scene where they're dancing, the three of them.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time Kyla comes over for dinner. And I think, what did I write exactly? Bear with. Okay, so with that knife, that's what starts it all off.
Yeah.
Is that kind of feeling of, oh fuck, there's a guy who's known to go off the rails.
Yeah.
With his hand on a knife, and you feel uneasy, but you feel trapped with them. And I mean, he's already started dancing here, and although it's fun, there is almost like something sinister about it. He's kind of got his hair slicked back now. He's got this look in his eye. Yeah, and he's looking at Kyla. She's new, and he likes her.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, is this like a predator and prey situation? It becomes lighter. So like you have that moment in that box where you feel as trapped as they are watching it, and you kind of have this feeling of like, it's like just under your ribcage, and you're like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah.
But then it also affords, because they use close-up really effectively in this film.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with Kyla, is there's these moments where she's finally kind of given into the dancing and the singing, and you have close-up on her face as she's dancing and singing, and there's just this unadulterated joy on her face, and having just that box that her face is in, it's like it heightens that. You don't have anything else to look at other than how happy she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the same token, throughout the film, it heightens any emotion
And
that
there's a lot of them.
punched in on.
Yeah. It's very much like, almost like putting a spotlight on something. They never have wasted space in the frame because of that. They fill the whole thing. It's always, whatever is in the frame is super important, and you should be looking at it. You shouldn't be looking in the background because it's not there. You don't have it because it's that 1:1 ratio. It's a box.
Yeah. And do you guys want to know something fun?
So good. Go on.
Xavier Dolan, the director for this, was 24 years old when he made this film.
Oh. Yeah, we should give up.
Fuck this. That's not fair.
That's younger than all of us now.
Yeah, that
What?
wasn't a fun fact.
No.
I hate that. What? I'm 25. I just made a 3-minute film about fucking soup. Are you taking the piss? 24.
24, yeah.
Fuck
He made
off.
his feature debut. Was a film I haven't seen it, but I know of it. It's called "I Killed My Mother." You can get. He has a type. This guy.
Yeah.
And he was 20.
Is he okay?
20 when he made it. Yeah.
Yeah, but we also
Incredible.
compare ourselves to Bo Burnham, and look what he's done at
Yeah.
He's 30.
however age he is. Yeah, no, but he started when he was like what, 19?
17.
Like when he did the Comedy Central one.
Oh, I don't know. But he started on YouTube, got discovered.
Yeah.
Well, he did it when YouTube was new. Easier to be discovered. We could be discovered back then, maybe. No.
Well, when we were like 12.
If we were the same age.
Okay.
I was making YouTube videos back then.
Yeah, but we've seen your YouTube videos, Max.
Nah. You've seen the behind the scenes ones. You haven't seen our sketches because they're private, and
We saw you walking through
I don't have access.
Manchester in tiger onesies.
Listen, it was a wild time, 2011. Okay, we thought that was cool and funny.
If we'd been in our mid to late teens in 2007, we'd be rich by now.
Literally.
Yep.
Fuck me, 24.
Yeah.
24.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Crazy, innit?
I'm angry, but also like I have so many emotions right now because like so much of me is like, holy fuck, someone that young can make something so incredible.
Yeah. Because it is.
So then I'm thinking
incredible.
maybe he's just fucking idiot with loads of money, and the reason it's such simple composition is because that's all he fucking knows.
Yes.
I want to do my mom, Mr. Oedipus over here.
The thing is, knowing that actually makes the film even more impressive now.
I
because
know.
He nailed for someone who hasn't been in the situation of having a child, I can assume, right?
Yeah, I
of that
can't
age
confirm,
anyway,
but I
'cause
would assume, yeah.
He wouldn't have a child that's like, I assume he's like 15, 16, that kind of age.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
he definitely
so he
wouldn't have a kid that old. I would be so
he wouldn't
concerned.
have that experience. But that character is just so full.
Yeah.
And someone that hasn't had that experience, obviously he would have a relationship with his parents, but he doesn't know that, mother to son relationship. He doesn't have that that experience. I can understand if someone was like a father, and you could kind of put the two together. But being 24 and being able to create a film, I think that's incredible.
You could argue that he could create a good perspective from the son's point of view, but it's incredibly difficult to be able to write and direct that well for two characters, for a mother.
That's what I was going to say.
The son.
Did he write it though? Just out
I don't know.
of curiosity.
I don't know,
because credit to the writer there on some elements.
Yeah. But like the direction.
You still have to be able to comprehend it and translate that.
Direct and the performances and the style and the mood.
Yeah, and everything. I can't find a single fault.
Yeah,
to be honest, it was an incredible film.
Can you imagine, like these kind of adult actors on set, and he's like. They've got a 24-year-old telling them how to be a mom.
Yeah.
You'd be like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Yeah."
You would have to like schedule in the really heavy scenes at the start to get the actors really on board. So whenever there'd be like weird intimate moments where he's telling you how to be a mum, they'd be like, "Okay, but I get it because of earlier. You were very good earlier."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
My God, 24! Why would you tell us this?
For this reason.
I hate this information.
Content.
I hate it. You're going to turn me into a TikTok clip. I hate it.
Yeah, I might actually, yeah.
Fuck.
So, yeah, I'm really glad you liked it. I
loved
really
that
loved
film
it.
so much.
That was, I think that was the best suggestion we've had so far. It was hard to be the worst.
Yeah, Alex, because
especially after week one, right?
We are gonna do it.
Right?
We are gonna do it again.
Yeah.
So, Alex, when it comes back around to it, you're gonna have to pick a better one.
So me and Max were talking before this. We were saying that like this format is actually really good because it means we get to watch films that, like we said before, that we otherwise wouldn't do. So I think we should carry on Film Club indefinitely
and I just
until
until we get bored of it.
I think we could amend the rules.
Yeah.
I think we could amend the rules. Obviously, we're currently
Oh, I don't think there's
within the
enough one we haven't.
constraints.
Yeah. Because like finding a film that none of us have watched is
Yeah.
extremely difficult.
Fucking right.
So like, even if it was something like, let's just watch Hot Fuzz, I think that would be, just something that we can talk about. I think from now on, just pick a film, we'll watch it, talk about it.
Yeah.
I think it was good now to like.
Yeah, I do like the idea that it's fresh though. So I might
Yeah,
pick one that I might have seen, but you guys haven't. That I want you to watch because I've got loads of them.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. I know you want to see. What's the film? No.
This is the greatest show.
Anyway, what's that one where he's like the telecom salesman? Sorry to bother you. I know you want to watch that.
We've all watched it.
We've all seen
and we
it.
have discussed
I thought
this
somebody
twice
said
now.
they hadn't.
No,
No.
Nathan.
Hang on.
You thought Nathan
I'm gonna cut. I want this cut from the thing.
We're back. We've cut. We had the discussion. I was right. we've sorted it. We're fine.
So we've all seen that film.
But there is loads.
I'd missed the
loads and loads of films that I've always thought. I mean, I obviously want Nathan to watch them. But Nathan I think just has similar reactions to me, whereas Alex's reactions to films are always amazing. So like, I've got so many stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, I want him to see that, and I want him to hate it.
Such a bell end.
Just some wanky films.
Nathan's gonna make me watch Casablanca. I just know.
Yes, that's gonna be next week's. Obviously, if I'm getting next,
yeah,
pick,
you do
it's
have
gonna
next
be
pick.
Casablanca.
That's how it works.
Oh fuck, he does as well.
There we go then. It's Casablanca.
And
I don't know
fun
how long
fact
is it?
here, I've never seen it.
Like an hour and a half. Have you not
never
seen it? Oh, this would be a good one then.
Right.
It isn't.
Did you just roll your head at an hour and a half?
No, at having to watch the film.
Oh, right, okay.
I think you'll enjoy it. I genuinely do. This isn't me just being a dick.
Translates to the White House, and it's about the president. You left. You left. I win.
I think
wow, why can't I find
really
how long it is?
Exasperated leftist.
Could be worse.
Yeah.
It is in a 1.37 by 1 aspect ratio, though. You should be okay with
it's even smaller than this one. I didn't think I could get any squarer. Fuck.
They were just trying to make a film for Instagram. It's okay.
So let's close up, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's do we've done it every film so far. So if you were going to give this a rating out of 10, what would you give it, boys?
Out of 10.
10.
Fucking. I never give anything 10, so I'm going to give it a 9. I don't think anything's ever perfect.
Yeah. I
would say 9 as well.
I would say 9.5. Like I say, it's pretty much perfect. It's hard to say anything is perfect, but I do think I have the Social Network down as a 10 on one of my.
I don't want to use the fact that he's 24 as a reason, but it explains a couple of creative liberties that were taken. In that, who just walks in the road all the time? Whenever they're going home, she walks in the middle of the road, and it looks gorgeous.
To be fair, it could be like a Canada thing. You know what I mean? Like they have big open roads there, whereas here you just get fucking run over here.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be patient enough.
But like she's always, whenever she's walking home, it's down the dead center of the fucking road.
Yeah.
Drops her shopping in the middle of the road, and it looks beautiful. But that's my 1 point off. It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
That shot took me completely out of the film because I was like, not for like it being bad, but I was like, how did they do it on cue? The bag would break.
I did think that as well.
Thing.
Yeah.
How did they?
They probably just. She probably just
for the
walked
best
until it broke. Yeah, they probably made it break.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5, and the 0.5 I'm taking off it is for the scene where Steve first meets Paul. And he goes to shake his hand and goes, too slow.
Oh, that's brilliant. So I guess it's time for plugs now.
Plugs. We're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Joke.
You better fucking not, you bastards. In case you missed it last week, they did a whole thing about actual plugs.
Yeah.
Anyway, actual plugs.
Plugs. Right, so If you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a like and a comment. We like comments; they're good fun to read. Reading.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately fucked it.
We just watched a whole subtitled film. We love reading.
Love it.
And please give us a subscribe. We're hoping to get to 100 by, I don't know, tomorrow. So
2025. We're over halfway there.
And if you're on Spotify, give us a cheeky follow on there as well. And if you fancy it, please follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We have a Facebook too, but
and a TikTok.
TikTok, yeah, the thing I'd probably spend the most time working for. I forgot to plug. Follow us on TikTok. We're dead funny.
And what probably gets us the most views.
Absolutely, yeah. We need to start doing more funny stuff.
We've got thousands of TikTok views.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's the plugs done. Plugs for the week. You would think by 14 episodes we would be better at doing them, but apparently, fucking not.
Yeah. Let me just ramble for a bit and talk about shit, and Nathan fades it out.
French.
Yep.
It's
going.
Welcome to the show!
Oh no.
We're doing a podcast.